Welcome to another video on the Life After Brady channel. Today we're taking a look at Sony Michel and Damien Harris, the pair of young running backs for the Patriots, how they've done the last couple of years with the squad, and moving forward to 2021, what will look like. Harris, the 2019 third-round pick, 87th overall, currently 23 years old, be 24 when next season kicks off. And then Michel, the 2018 first-rounder, 31st overall, right before Lamar Jackson, 25 right now, will be 26 when next season kicks off. So let's take a look at first kind of just the basic stats. Michel was the workhorse the first 2 years there. Came in, missed the first game or two of his rookie season, and then has really taken off since then. Rushed for 900 yards his first 2 years. Very good. Couple touchdowns both of those years. Obviously Cam Newton this year, the touchdowns aren't there, and then also battling injuries this year. He'll end up playing in 9 out of 16 games, so pretty consistent, missing 11 games throughout his regular season career thus far. Though with less carries, he has been able to do a little bit more this year. He's rushed for 17 first downs, nearly 27% of the time he's rushing for a first down, a pretty good number. Harris is at about 22%. And then the yards per attempt is really what's jumped out. 4.5 his rookie year, with a very good Patriots offense. Gronk was still there. Edelman was rocking and rolling, was very good. Took a step back last year, as did the entire Patriots offense, rushed for 3.7 yards per attempt. And this year he's jumped up 5.9 yards per attempt. He's reminded me much more of his Sony Michel Georgia days, where he was the big play back compared to Nick Chubb, more of the ground and pound every down back. So that's what you like to see. He's been getting better as he goes, though. From his first half, rushing yards per attempt is 5.7 compared to 6.2 in the second half. Harris, though, has been good. His rookie year, played in 2 games and spent really most of his year on IR. He started the year on injured reserve also this year, missed the first 3 games, came back, played 10 games, and then has been out since week 14 with injuries, and will finish the year with injuries, as he will not be playing Sunday against the New York Jets. He's been very good, not up to the Sony Michel levels, but good. 5.0 yards per attempt, very good. That's 11th in the league in terms of all ball carriers, 9th if you just isolate it to running backs, as Kyler and Lamar, lead the league. He's getting 70 yards a game when he does carry the rock. He's had 3 games over 100 yards and 4 games over 80 yards. His biggest game was Baltimore, where he rushed for 122 yards and over 122 carries and over 120 rushing yards. So he's been very good when he gets the ball. And again, similar to Harris with Newton, Newton's taken most of those touchdowns. So the touchdowns aren't there for him, but he's been very effective getting the rock. Neither of them has been good in the rushing or receiving game, which moving forward to me is the biggest thing. James White and Rex Burkhead are likely to move on in 2021 through free agency. I mean, there's a chance White comes back, but both these guys need to step up catching the football. It has not been a big part of the offense this year with Cam, but I expect 2021, new offensive coordinator potentially will want to use the pass catchers out of the backfield more, and these guys have to be better. I mean, Michel has never averaged more than a catch per game, and really it's been a half a catch per game. And Harris is right along with that, 5 catches in 10 games. It's just not acceptable. They need to be catching, to me, 1 to 2 screens a game maybe, and then 1 to 2 little either arrow routes or little flare routes out of the background, little checkdowns. They have to be more of a threat to catch the football when they're in the game. Otherwise, they're going to keep facing these 8-man boxes, and they just won't be respected. So that's the biggest change I see moving forward. Let's take a look more at kind of some advanced numbers, what they're doing before contact, after contact, breaking tackles, that sort of thing. So Michel's never had a lot of success yards before contact, yards per attempt. He's always averaged that 2.1 to 2.4 before contact. So the big difference to me this year is it's the after contact. Last year he averaged 1.6 yards after contact per attempt. This year that's up to 3.7. That's how you go from 3.7 yards per attempt to 5.9 yards per attempt. It's just phenomenal. A couple people have said on Twitter to me he's just hitting the hole harder and faster, and making up his mind. He's not kind of pitter-pattering and then hitting at half speed. He's hitting at full speed and then breaking that tackle and then going. He's got 4 rushes over 20 yards. Same as Harris, in far less the carries, about half the carries that Harris does. So he's been very good in that regard. Harris, though, is doing the job before contact. He's got 3.1 yards before contact compared to Michel's 2.3. So, he's seeing the holes maybe a little bit better. He's getting more before he's making contact, and then, he's down to 1.9 yards after contact. So basically 2 full yards less than Michel, but also kind of more carries. So the more carries you get, to me, that number is going to be lower, just law of averages. And then he is breaking slightly less tackles than Michel. Michel averaging a broken tackle every 9 carries versus 11.4 for Harris. So, pretty much interchangeable right there. This, to me, it might tell us the most. This is the availability section, and this is where is the big difference. Harris has played in 12 games out of 32. 32. I mean, he's missed 20 games. He's played about 37% of his Patriot games thus far. Versus Michel's missed 11 games in his 3 years. And that's, to me, has to be big for Bill Belichick and that offensive coaching staff. Yes, Harris might be the more dynamic runner, more yards per attempt over his career. Able to see the ball more, maybe more of a workhorse. Michel has not rushed for 11 or more carries this season versus Harris has done it in all but 2 of his games. But Harris is just, it's either injury prone or wasn't trusted last year. I'm not really sure. They need him to be on the field, and he has not been on the field. To miss 20 games in 2 years, yes, this to me is the typical, fans love him when he's on the field and they see the glimpses and it looks awesome, but if he's not there, then he can't be counted on. Which is why, to me, this is really a 1A and 1B backfield, not really a number 1 and a number 2 guy. I think Harris goes into 2021 as your 1A. He's the workhorse. He's going to get the ball in first and second down most of the time, potentially on third down. But I think they're going to try and split carries more. Right now, the split carries is about 70-30. I think this goes down to maybe 60-40, maybe even 50-50 next year, with less carries for Newton. So Michel's been good. He's been less dynamic than Harris, but I expect him to continue to be a big use in year 4 at the Patriots. And Patriots really set up well with the 2 of them, I think, is my takeaway. They're both very, very good. Top 20, I would say, running backs in the league right now. They're not top 10, that 10 to 20 range, but both very good. Both a threat in the running game. For 2021, I'd really love to see one of them step up in the receiving game. You can get a guy that gets 20 to 30 catches. This is a whole different offense, more of a threat than just a ground and pound type runners that these two appear to be. That's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe if not already. Anything you disagree with, feel free to comment below. Thanks.